Hello, everyone. Welcome to another small screen Star Wars. As always, I'm Julie Misch. I'm joined by Rachel Wilkinson. What? Who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah, tell
Just,
the world. Give it. You're going to Star Wars Celebration this year, so that's really
I am,
exciting.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Yeah, it's gonna be a good trip, and then to Galaxy's Edge while I'm out there too.
Mhm.
So
Tell
I'm super
the world
excited.
how you think that the Star Wars Clone Wars movie is a good movie.
You mean show that?
No. The movie.
Yeah, I do. I enjoyed it. That's when you first see Ahsoka for the first time, and then
Yeah.
they're building up Anakin
No,
and her relationship.
absolutely,
I like it
yep.
a lot.
It's just not a good movie.
You hate everything, though,
That-
and that's why I'm here.
Well, touche. Yeah, that's true. We did need to balance it out. I
Yeah.
figured since you made fun of me for being here by myself, I was like, oh well, you think it's so easy?
I don't
Well-
think it's easy. I'm highly nervous right now.
It's okay. Drink some of that beer, make you feel better.
Mhm.
So here's what we're gonna do today. We are going to talk about what you thought of the first 2 episodes,
Okay.
and then we'll dive kind of deeper into this episode specifically. This episode being of the Clone Wars, being a distant echo. Obviously, a little bit of double entendre there,
Mhm.
with the name, and then we'll take it from there. So if you have not done so already, please follow us on Twitter at Tower Babblecast, Facebook.com/Tower Babblecast, and if you want to help support the show, Patreon.com/Tower Babblecast, where we do a once a month we do a film club. I don't know if you knew this, Rachel.
I didn't know that.
We do
actually.
a film club, and this month, last month, February. That's the one.
February
Yeah.
was last month.
We did. What the heck is his? We just talked about it. The Tom Cruise movie, Days of Thunder.
Oh, okay.
It's a NASCAR movie.
That
It's about
sounds
NASCAR, but
Great.
it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't sound good, but it's from the same director as Top Gun.
Okay.
And have you seen Crimson Tide before?
I have not.
Okay. Have you seen what's another Tony Scott movie? Anyways, great director, and it's unbelievably entertaining. At one point, Tom Cruise races some guy in a wheelchair. It's very fun. I highly recommend it. Anyway, you can.
I told you I hate Tom Cruise, but okay.
Yeah, but you can you can watch him get into a car accident.
That's all-
Spoilers for a movie from
I don't hate him that
1990.
much, but
Well, it's not a real car accident.
all right, give it a shot.
Okay. Anyway, that's on the Patreon, patreon.com/Tower Babblecast. $5 a month. As little as or as less than 1 Starbucks coffee. You can help support the show.
It's true.
Turn this dump of a studio into something pretty sweet. That would be sweet. Anyway, so let's jump into this episode. Or actually, before we do that, I want to get your take on a couple things.
Okay.
What do you think of Disney Plus so far?
Okay. I mean, I enjoy it. Obviously, I like having access to all Star Wars things all the time, and then all the nostalgic shows too from my childhood. So, like we were just talking about, like Gargoyles and all
Right.
those old ones. So I'm having a lot of fun just going back and watching everything. But I see all the jokes online of people like canceling it as soon as they're done watching Mandalorian and then re-upping.
Honestly, I was
But-
very close to doing that. And I was like, oh, wait, Clone Wars is coming back. And then I didn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But I think there's enough content on there that'll last.
I
me a
tried to
while,
watch that
but-
Jeff Goldblum show. I tried to watch one episode of it. Couldn't do it. At 5 minutes in.
Oh, really?
I like Jeff Goldblum, but it was just like, it's just peak Goldblum. It's just he's like talking about the sneaker industry,
Okay.
the secret underground sneaker industry. And there's just no way I could watch an hour of television of Jeff Goldblum talking about shoes. There's just there's just no way
Fair.
in hell I'm
I
going to
get
do
it.
that.
But that is crazy about all the like trading and the buying the sneakers.
Get on the mic a bit
Sorry,
more.
that
it's,
is
it's okay. You're new. It's
yeah,
all right.
I am new. No, but that is a whole weird culture of buying sneakers and reselling them or holding them for a long time and then reselling them because I
Mhm.
know people who do that and
Do
they
you know-
spend a lot of
do
money
you know
on
people who
sneakers
do that?
they never use. Yeah.
Are they cool? I like Batman sneakers and stuff like that.
It's usually a lot of like limited release stuff, so it'll be like Air Jordans or like
Right.
just
This one's purple and green, not green and purple. You better
yeah,
get this
exactly.
one.
Like
Yeah.
limited release stuff or like special collabs with movies or bands or that kind
Right.
of stuff. So
Okay.
yeah.
So this isn't Sneaker Cast.
No.
But if it was, we'd be doing really well.
Mhm.
Okay, so you like Disney Plus.
I do
Feel it's
yeah.
worth the money. I would agree mostly. That's true.
Yeah.
I watched some of the new Disney movies, the like Lion King,
Okay.
and I did not like it.
I tried to watch the new the live action Aladdin
Yeah.
and I hated it.
You
and
hated
I had
it?
to turn it off. I couldn't.
Yeah, it's kind of how I felt about
It
Lion
made me
King.
cringe, but
Not a Will Smith fan, hey?
I didn't even get to the Will Smith part,
You
but I
didn't
was
even get
cringing
that
too hard.
You're like, no, 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 no.
Yeah, I was just.
I feel my childhood
hated it.
dying.
I don't know. I just didn't like it. It wasn't the same. But
Okay.
I haven't tried to watch The Lion King yet. I might like that because it's animals and not people.
Yeah, it's not great. No, just watch the animated one again, which is I think on Disney Plus anyway. So you just watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so got your opinion on that. What have you thought of? Is Clone Wars what got you into Star Wars? Is a better question. That's another.
Ooh, I'd say yeah, like Clone Wars and Rebels is what got me more into Star Wars. Like I've always enjoyed it, but I feel like the animated series actually really like heightened my love for it. And honestly, I think it's because it builds up more love for some of the characters.
Well, they don't really spend a lot of time on that in the movies.
No, exactly.
Anakin goes from like a normal kid to murdering children in about 5 minutes time.
Yeah.
In Revenge of the Sith.
And you know, it within some of the like the prequel movies, there's a lot of, you know, people shit on like the dialogue a lot, and they shit a lot, you know, on the way he.
Oh no,
I
know
all that kind of stuff, right? So, but I do feel like Clone Wars.
A trap. We're better than this.
I do feel like Clone Wars helps, kind of build Anakin's character up a little bit, so you like him more. Like I like him so much more from watching the animated Clone Wars series than I do from watching him in the movies.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he's way less of a little bitch in the Clone Wars series.
Matt Lanter is I feel like is my Anakin. Like I don't really care
me too.
about what the heck is whatever his stupid name is from the movies. He doesn't like sand. That's all I know about. Yeah. It gets everywhere. Yeah.
And I don't want to shit on him either. Like
that's not fair. He just wasn't given a lot. He just wasn't given a lot to do.
Yeah.
He was the star of the movies, but it's whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like it also makes it so much more heart-wrenching. Like, it just guts me now watching those movies and watching Order 66 happen.
Ooh, we're going to get more of that this season.
Yeah,
Aren't you excited for that?
Because you see the relationships build between them and the clones, and you grow to love the clones so much, and then when you see that happen, you're just like,
the clones are literally
like,
the coolest.
They are, and
the clones are the reason I watch Clone Wars is for the clones.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really care about... There's some pretty cool lightsaber battles in the Clone Wars.
There are, yeah.
But... it's all about the clones, and the clone-only episodes are the best ones. Like, is it not Utapau, but there's a 3-part episode where they're on this like really like it's like nighttime all the time with like giant flowers. I don't remember what it's called. Anakin gets called away, and there's that really big Jedi with like the double-sided lightsaber, and it's all about them having to like not come to terms with whether they follow direct orders or not, and so like it's pretty crazy. So I really like that stuff. And these first 3 episodes have been just all about clones, which has been pretty sweet, which I'm a big fan of as well.
No,
okay.
I like it too.
So what did you think of the first 2 episodes, just broadly, the first one specifically, and then we can dive deeper into the second one?
So far, I don't have any major complaints about them.
No gripes.
To be honest,
Zero gripes.
Yeah, I understand that like the Bad Batch is a little goofy and they're a little predictable in their way that they're made.
They're kind of like cliche characters. Yeah. Like one is clearly Rambo.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have like the big dumb one, and I get it, but I do I like it. It gave me kind of nostalgic, almost like Ninja Turtle feels, where you have like the Donatello, you have like the Raph.
I didn't even consider that.
Yeah, it kind of gives you that like old school like feel of that kind of thing, where you have like the very specific like types.
Everyone's got their roles. One of them's wearing purple, one of them's wearing black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it gives more, because the last thing I would want to see is just like the same generic like clone armor too, and the same generic like type.
Oh yeah, no, I live and die for cool types of clone armor.
Yeah.
I like the ARC Trooper armor is so fucking badass to me with the 2 pauldrons and like all that. Like, I don't even get me started on like I don't necessarily love the Bad Batch's like armor set. Like I think the clone commandos have a cooler looking armor with like the blue visors and stuff. But what's his name? Tracker? It's not Tracker. Hunter has like almost a like proto stormtrooper helmet, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I see that they all kind of have like a different style of helmet even too. So it's kind of cool. Like I so far I like how it goes. But
okay. So let's dive into this episode. So it's called A Distant Echo, Season 7, Episode 2. Here's the synopsis. Believing that MIA soldier Echo may still be alive, Rex's mission becomes doubly important. Alongside Bad Batch and Anakin Skywalker, the clone captain launches a dangerous covert rescue. Now, this episode has technically been released before in like animatic form online.
Right, okay. Because didn't they release it a few years ago?
Yeah, on StarWars.com.
Yeah.
After they thought there was like their show was over and they really want like they loved the Bad Batch. They thought it was so cool. It's very funny. They just like they're like we just made the coolest clones. You just got to see them.
Yeah.
So they released the animatics, which actually had like the voice acting, and I had watched it and I had completely forgot about it. So I went back and kind of like looked at some clips and stuff. So they made some changes from that animatic version, but a lot of it is actually very similar. And they've re-recorded certain dialogue and stuff like that. There's one specific moment, when they're about to leave on the mission, there's like one of the what are they called? Gunships has like a picture of like a sexy Padme.
Okay, I saw that on like Twitter or Instagram today, and then Anakin walking up and looking at it, and there's just like sexy Padme.
Yeah, sexy
on the
Padme.
Side. Yeah. But I didn't actually like watch what the dialogue was.
So apparently the idea was that like they wanted to style it after like World War II planes where they had like pictures of women on the side and stuff painted on the side. So that was the idea. And Anakin's like goes and looks at it, and he looks at Rex. Apparently, he's like, "There's no way that's staying there."
See, I would have that's pretty good though. I would have liked to see that still in there, but I like those little jokes, right? Like the little extra.
Well, this one, so they replaced it with something else in this, with that whole scene with Padme, which was not originally in, I don't believe, in the original animatic. So,
I wanted to ask your opinion about that, but go ahead.
Okay, so this episode starts with, I think Rex and Cody have a brief conversation, and then Rex and Anakin meet up, and there's this whole thing where like they have like a pre-staged, planned thing where he plays diversion, whatever, while he's talking with Padme in his barracks.
Basically, Rex is a lookout. Wow.
Right, and he
Anakin
keeps
sneaks off.
And Anakin keeps his helmet so that later he can say, "Oh, I fixed your helmet," which is like the most see-through, like transparent bullshit I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Anakin. So here's the thing: Anakin's an idiot. He's talking with Padme, and it's I think that scene, by the way, the dialogue of that scene, really well done. I thought it was really well written and well acted, and the lesson that she's saying is like, hey, you kind of follow your gut, right? Rex is saying, follow my gut, trust him, know?
I like the parallel there where he's kind of saying like, oh, I don't know, like Rex is doing this. And then Padme's like, well, where do you think he learned that from?
Yeah,
like
he's being very brash.
Yeah. it's like, oh yeah, I wonder who taught him that. Yeah. I really enjoyed them showing the parallels of Rex and Anakin and how they're becoming very similar like that.
Yep. And then she's clearly pregnant.
Okay, I was going to ask you that. And I was like, because girls don't hold their bellies like that. They just don't, because they don't do this.
That's like what they do in pictures. Like it's just pictures that.
I mean, not
get on the microphone.
Sorry, but no, I was going to ask you if you thought she was or not in that clip.
Well,
but
we know that they definitely know. Like we are in the timeline of the show of the galaxy. We are essentially, if I'm not mistaken, weeks away from the events of Revenge of the Sith. Okay. So she tells him in Revenge of the Sith that she's pregnant. Yeah. Right? And he's like, what? His mind is blown.
I think they very much are alluding to that.
So she's clearly pregnant already here, and she like has her hand on her belly. It's it's obvious, I think, the way that they've designed it. The thing is, if you're Anakin, you have to be a blind idiot not to notice that. So he's
just not paying attention.
He's not paying. He's too preoccupied. He's too selfish. The only thing is that Anakin's always been selfish. He only cares about himself and his feelings. Really,
it's true.
And it just, I think I don't know if they did it on purpose. Like, look how stupid it is that he didn't notice this, or is it just supposed to be a hint to us? But we know she's pregnant already, so I don't really know who it's for.
I think it was just like a nice little kind of hint to it, because maybe people don't realize she is at that point, or they don't really know where this falls. So
it's not like that obvious of a hint either. It's not like
it's not super obvious. It's not like she's like 9 months pregnant at that point, or huge. Like she's her whatever, the way they draw her is still very like slim and everything. So it's not like she's
she's got a little bit of she's got like a little baby bump.
Kind of, but not much that like, you would really
maybe she's
notice,
she's had a big meal.
Yeah. But it is her like her stance that you're noticing, and like how she's holding her body and how she's So but I was curious if you would notice that or not, or whether that was just like, I don't know, a me thing, overlooking or looking into something too much. But
I don't think so. I think, and also it's like, you have a female perspective. That's like a little bit of a. I'm filling my beer here. Hold on.
That's fine. It's a bit of like an Easter egg too, right? So it's for those fans who are paying a little bit more attention and who are looking for little things like that. Yeah. So
So I think that scene's maybe the best part of the episode.
I really liked
especially because after he leaves, and there's this little like I saw on Twitter this is like Obi-Wan having like a single dad moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like has to talk to his like kid about like, you know, like, I know what you're up to.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I know you're having sex up there, goddammit. I'm not gonna say it out loud.
Yeah.
Right? So he has this whole moment where they're like, okay, I guess, and then he walks away. Anakin walks away, and he's like, well, hope you at least said hello to Padme for me. And he's like, So here's the thing. This is actually, I feel like, bigger than people make it up for. It's a very nice moment. It's nice and fun.
Mm-hmm.
But the implication is that Obi-Wan knew more than I think he lets on.
Oh, right. Of course.
And that if you think about it, he enables Anakin in a lot of ways to like pursue this relationship, when
that's true.
If he had like reported him to the Jedi Council, for instance, it might have reined him in enough that, you know, he might not have been as easily tempted.
Right.
And I think probably one of the things that he has to like think about when he's sitting in that Tatooine desert for half his life. So like, yeah, Anakin made those choices on his own. He chose to kill the younglings, yada, yada, yada. But he could have, like, Obi-Wan, knowing what he knew, could have done something about it, but never really did.
Yeah, could have said more, could have, stopped it a little bit sooner before it got that far. Yeah.
You did that to yourself.
Yeah. I do like, I love the playfulness of him and Obi-Wan the whole, like, throughout most of the Clone Wars series.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's great. There's actually, I don't know how much you know about the Star Wars Battlefront on PlayStation stuff.
Yeah, I'm not much.
So Battlefront 2, it's like, it's all about like it's a third-person shooter, essentially, first-person shooter. But you can play as Jedi.
Right.
And one of the modes lets you have multiple Jedi on the battlefield at once. And if you play as Anakin and Obi-Wan, like the Matt Lanter and who the heck plays Obi-Wan? James Arnold Taylor have like recorded new dialogue of like banter that's like
really?
very fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And while you're playing together, it's pretty cool. Like they'll talk to whoever, like whichever other hero is on the battlefield at the same time, they might say something, but like because those two have like a thing, like it's much more entertaining.
I like
So if you want more Matt Lanter and James Arnold Taylor banter, either go on Twitter, because they do that sometimes on Twitter, but also Star Wars Battlefront 2. Okay, so what happens next? They leave for the mission. This is where that like the difference is. They just leave. There's no sexy Padme, and they have to leave. What the heck is the name of the planet they go to? I don't even remember now. It's a stupid name, and
one of those complicated ones.
It's not a. It's a kind of. It's like we'll never talk about this planet ever again.
Most likely. Yeah.
And they go there, and they're talking about how there's like this weird. There's like a moment where they're sitting on the ship and like talking to each other.
Mm-hmm. I do. Because there's like in the background you can see Wrecker, and he's
lifting a gonk droid,
pressing a gonk droid.
Yeah,
cracked me up. I loved it.
Wrecker's a weird, like he's like yeah.
No reason. He's got like a turkey leg in one hand.
He's a weird guy.
Yeah,
he's a weird guy. And I don't know. I think it's okay. I think for whatever reason these scenes between these clones feels a little stilted. I don't know why exactly, because again, it might be because it's the same actor voicing all of them.
Okay.
So he can't really act against himself. But I think it's pretty good. They land on the planet. They talk about first about how there's a primitive local society that worships these flying lizard creatures. Right. And it's all stormy and sandstorms all the time. So they land, one of those giant lizards lands on their ship. Cool looking ship, by the way. I like it's reminiscent of like the Corellian cruisers or whatever they're called. Those ones that bring the Emperor.
Yeah, the Emperor shuttles. The Emperor shuttle, kind of like fold up their wings.
The V thing. Yeah. And anyway, what the hell happens next? They get Anakin gets captured. I don't know.
Yeah, it lands on the window, and they're like, "What is that?" He's like, "It's one of those."
Well, yeah, the things we just talked about 2 seconds ago. What the hell do you think we're talking about?
Yeah. And then it's going after Rex. Anakin pushes Rex out of the way, and then it grabs Anakin and flies off. And Anakin, of course, drops his lightsaber as
he
usual.
always does. I know, it's unbelievable. It's the only thing he's not supposed to do.
Is drop his lightsaber. Yeah.
Constantly drops it.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan only drops it that one time when Cody gives it back to him.
Right.
and then immediately tries to kill him.
And then 2 seconds later,
That's the most heartbreaking one, I think.
It's
Because Cody, here's
it's
the thing.
rough.
It makes sense because Obi-Wan is very much like follow the rules, be, listen to what I say,
Right.
be obedient, yada yada yada. Don't think outside the box. And that's why Cody turns on it, because he doesn't give him any like reason not to listen to Order 66.
Right.
He's just like a robot clone at that point. He is cool, but ultimately kind of boring, right?
Cody is always the one that's like that strictly follows orders.
Right.
Like he's
Like,
always that.
I don't
that
know,
clone.
Rex. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Rex is more
He's more free thinking.
Yeah.
So there's a cool like action moment, I guess, where all of the Bad Batch like do this like cool thing where they like track the flying lizard.
Right.
Then they shoot that grappling hook, and then
It's very Batman.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. It's a grapnel hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he like flies along with it. Yeah, it's like very Batman.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. And then there's this whole thing where he's shooting, he loses his gun, and then people just dropping stuff left and right.
Right. No one can hold on to their
And then,
weapons.
and then he lands on that like big rock, and then they come and they meet them there.
Mhm.
There's a moment where they're like, okay, we're gonna do this operation to get Anakin back, and it's like, but remember, no casualties, only disarming.
Yeah.
And so they like roll a giant boulder. They could not possibly know that giant boulder is gonna roll perfectly exactly where they wanted to.
Wasn't gonna kill anyone.
Exactly. And then they like run down the hill, they slide down the hill, and then shoot the guns out of everyone's hands. Really dumb. Really dumb. The Clone Wars does like, so there's the thing. The Clone Wars does this stuff where it's like, it's just us watching clones shoot stuff, and they're like,
Right.
they look like they're just the worst tactics. They just like run into a room and like just shoot droids left and right, but there's like 100 of them,
Yeah.
but they never get shot. It makes no sense.
It's
Because
droids have no
I get it.
shots, right?
Yeah, they're bad at
They're
it.
bad at it.
Yeah.
That's all we get.
Yeah.
But then later on, stormtroopers just have bad shots too. So
Yeah,
everyone
Mhm.
just sucks at shooting unless it's the good guys shooting guns out of someone's hand.
yeah. I'm glad you kept up.
Yeah.
So they get. Okay, here's the thing. Did you notice that the voices of these like local like aliens were like, it's basically like they played something in reverse.
It did kind of seem like that.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, yeah.
I kind of want to just like back it up and hear if it's like if they're actually saying something in reverse.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Apparently, they were modeled also after like Egyptian head things.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're like those big long tall head things. I don't know. That's apparently what they were designed after, like
Interesting.
Egyptian hieroglyphs. They somehow, so there's a translate. Yeah, so Tech comes in. He's got his little translate. He's got his Google Translate going.
So you don't need C-3PO.
Yeah, I guess.
You don't need a protocol droid with you. You've got a clone that can do it now.
Exactly. But like, he can translate, but then he can also speak it somehow.
Right, because I think it's because in front of him it swaps it. So whatever
It goes
you're
from
saying
Arabic
to him,
to
it
whatever.
translates it to like the other language, then he reads it. I guess.
Oh, okay.
Is what I picked up from that.
Okay. Either way, that's not really how translating works, but like you can't
if
just
you're
if you just
if you just smart guy
if
who
you-
knows all the
maybe,
languages, then
maybe. How many does C-3PO know? Like 10.2 million
Something like that, yeah.
forms of communication. So they agree to help them out. They get rides to this like giant tower thing that goes up above the storm.
right.
For some reason, is it Wrecker is afraid of heights?
Yeah, apparently he's afraid of heights.
Okay.
Just this is one weakness.
Okay, but it never brought up again.
Yeah, super strong, afraid of heights.
Right. And then I thought there was a really funny like scene when they like open the door and it's like, yeah, it's a lift. You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what did you expect there to be here?
Yeah.
I thought for some reason I really thought that was really fun. I don't know. It's a really dumb joke. Then they go up to the top and they face these weird like noob droid things.
I liked them. I thought they kind of looked like praying mantises a little bit
Mhm,
because
mhm.
they've got the weird.
Yep. Apparently they can
arms?
fly.
Okay.
This is so I
I'm
was
curious
reading
what
up to
they're
this.
called, but I
don't remember.
they're a little There's a lot going on in them for sure, but
Doesn't say.
yeah, just maybe we'll get.
There's
it
literally
later.
only 1, 2,
but-
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in the whole cast.
Okay.
So there's not like there's a ton of people. Like so, Tom Kane does the narrating, but nope. This one guy, Matthew Wood, voices both the battle droids, the Polatecan villagers, and Wat Tambor from which guild? Which guild is Wat Tambor from?
What do you mean, which guild?
I don't know. He's that
Separatists?
no. So he works as separatists, but he pretends to be neutral. He's you see him in Revenge of the Sith, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the what the heck is it called? He's the leader of one of the droids. I'm gonna search this super quick because I don't remember now. It's like the droid. No, the Techno Union. The Techno Union.
Have known that.
The foreman, Wat Tambor, the foreman of the Techno Union. Wat Tambor is one of the original and most fervent separatist leaders, pledging his loyalty and his own battle droid armies to Count Dooku at pivotal meeting on Geonosis. Okay, so maybe he was not pretending to be neutral. Later in the war, Tambor was appointed Emir of Ryloth. Okay. So there you go. That's Wat Tambor's background. So I guess the whole idea is here that this operation's like off the books, was not approved by the Jedi Council.
Right. As usual.
As usual. Man, like
he's always
nothing is ever approved by the Jedi Council. They take too long to decide things.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
But that is another one of those things where I liked because it was Rex's mission that he wanted to go on.
Right.
And just like Anakin always does with his missions, it was not not
right. And Obi-Wan is like, wait, but like it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. How? But wait though. Right.
Yeah. So I did like that that parallel again between the two of them. But
yeah. So they whatever. We have General Trench on the Separatist side. The giant tarantula.
So creepy. I know. He's so cool. This little pincer clicking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it grosses you out.
It gives.
I like
me
how he strokes his beard, but it's like his it's his mandible.
Like tarantula. Oh, I can't. I'm not a fan of spiders.
You don't like mandibles? I also don't like mandibles or spiders for the record.
No, it grosses me out more than anything, but he is a really cool character though. I'll give him that. It's really neat to see.
He's the only general that they've ever faced that's has been decent at anything.
Yeah, that has been even slightly good. So,
yeah.
Everything else has just been like they're crushing through everything, and then finally this guy's like,
right.
It's nice to see these. It's not the same thing over and over again, where it's them just crushing everything.
Well, it is mostly that we don't see the losses. That's the thing. Yeah. So there is losses. The Republic takes losses like all the time, but they never show those parts. Like there's so many Jedi leading so many clone battalions out in the galaxy that we just never see.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
I did like that bit. It actually goes back to the Anakin and Padme talking, where he's like, "Oh, I didn't think this siege was going to last that long," and she's kind of making fun of him.
He's like, "What do you think it's a?"
Yeah,
you can't just siege.
Yeah, you can't just like walk into everything and then think it's going to be resolved immediately just because you're there.
I think she says, "Did you think you could single-handedly, bring peace to the galaxy?"
Yeah, basically something.
And
like
he's like, "Well, yeah," which is kind of like plays into his his narcissism.
Yeah,
because that's a part of the thing that Sidious kind of plays on, because he thinks that Anakin actually thinks that he can just single-handedly change the galaxy. Yeah. And he's pretty strong, but no, he can't.
No.
He's just one man, right? So where were we? We were...
they basically just got up the lift and they're starting to fight all those droids.
Right.
Which is a great scene, by the way. I really like the camera angles in that scene. How he
the first one, or this? There's one later on. I think.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Because they do this thing where they follow different.
Yeah.
Remember, that's later on.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah. We'll get there.
I'm skipping ahead.
This one's kind of boring. It's just Wrecker running in. They're like, so much for stealth, which is like,
oh right. Yes.
It made me roll my eyes so hard when that happened. And then
it's because he's dumb. He's not allowed to have any smart things to say.
Right. Well, it's fine.
Gotta keep him on brand.
Then they do this thing where they just run into this room full of droids, and then there's no repercussions for
no
not being stealthy.
Yeah.
Right. Thing is that they should have brought some red shirts with them. With some no-name regs.
Right.
Who can die.
Yeah.
It's what they did. So you went back and watched the Citadel episodes.
Yes, I did.
In reverse order for some reason.
Yeah. Because I didn't want to watch all of them. I just wanted to watch the main one where I was like, I can't remember where Echo's supposed to...
Echo's supposed to die.
Dies, right?
Yeah, dies. Quote unquote dies.
Yeah. But all you see is his helmet at the end. You don't actually see him.
It's true.
You just see basically his helmet gets blown off.
And what's the number one rule in television when it comes to death?
You don't see him die. They're not actually dead.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay, that's how they get away with it. Because I couldn't remember exactly how he died. So was trying, or how
He just gets
they
blown
showed
up,
it.
kind of a little
Yeah,
bit.
the ship blows up, and he just
Echo. Yeah, and then that happens.
yeah.
What did you think of those? Though I hadn't gone back and watched older episodes in season 2, which is actually surprising that they'd gone with a pretty dark plot, and they were doing 3-episode arcs even as early as season 2, which I think is pretty impressive for this show.
Well, I did hear that it basically, with like the first season, it's a little more light. It's not as
it sucks.
Yeah, but that's because originally they were like they thought it was going to be a younger audience, and then they realized, oh no, these are adults.
Oh no,
this.
it's
not. Yeah,
it's not kids, guys.
They're
oh
like,
no.
Oh wait.
Right.
All the rest
The
of the
battle
Star Wars
droids
fans
are
older.
absolutely insufferable in the first season. They're so annoying.
It does crack me up though in those old Citadel episodes where it's like R2 has these like 3 battle droids that he's got with him that they've like turned, and it's so funny.
I agree. That is very funny.
It cracks
It was
me up.
It was like an honor working with you, sir.
Yeah. Just sounds like it's just when like R2's commanding these droids, it kills me. Basically anything having to do with R2, like I
right.
adore,
Everyone loves R2.
Yeah, how can you not? But
I'll agree with that. But I was surprised by how good those episodes were.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I did like seeing it start to get a little more darker, start to be like, okay, you're like, this is what I'm here for. But
it sucks when that little piggy dies, though. The Jedi that looks like a little
piggy. Yeah, he kind of looks, well, I was like, he looks more like a house elf. Harry Potter. He's got his big ears. But that's what I thought.
Like a human Yoda for some reason.
Yeah, it's, and obviously, well, losing the clones there too. But I get what you mean about like when they have the extras with them, that it's easy to kill off.
It's easy to kill them. There's some brutal clone deaths. I was saying this in last week's episode, that there's some brutal clone deaths in that.
One guy gets full blown cut in half by a door.
Yeah, we don't see it, but it's implied.
Yeah, well, pretty much. You see him getting cut in half,
and then it cuts away, and it's like, and then there's a shunk sound.
At first, that's what I thought where Echo died. I was like, wait, because like I said, I
he
watched
got
it
cut
backwards.
in half.
And I was like, but okay, we'll get to it.
Yeah,
but
okay.
That's why I thought, yeah.
Okay. So then there's this thing where they have to like track him via his signal, but the signal only. There's just one of those things that like just needs to be it for the script, so we need to pad some time here.
Yeah.
The signal's not going to be available the whole time, so we're going to search through. We're going to go. We're going to run around. We're going to split up, and we're going to run around this big circle until we find him.
Yeah.
The implication I got was that they were opening these doors into the same room, but just in different places in the same room. It's like storage containers, like everywhere.
Oh, okay. I don't think so. I think they're all different rooms.
It wasn't clear.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
I assumed that they were just different rooms because obviously, Anakin goes in there and he's fighting some droids.
Yeah. That's actually pretty cool.
And
he kind of sucks at it, actually. In
that
scene. He's very. There's only 2 droids, and he's kind of bad at it.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, can Anakin throw like 10 at a time?
Yeah, he just runs in later and like pushes like 15 of them over.
But yeah, then Crosshair comes in and whatever.
Yeah, he's like
saves him.
You're welcome.
Yeah. He's very simple.
I owe you one.
He's probably your favorite, isn't he?
He's pretty cool. He's in my. I don't know for this for sure. So the character of Hunter is designed after a character from. He's not designed after Rambo. He looks like Rambo.
A little bit,
but
with
he's
the
designed
long
after
hair
a character
and the
after a character in the Predator.
Oh, okay.
Or the original Predator movie. The guy who like cuts his chest. Anyway,
it's been so long.
It's been a long time. So there's that guy. He's designed after him. So I think that the sniper's designed after the sniper from Saving Private Ryan.
Right. I remember. Yeah, I heard you say that on the.
Because he's got the little it's down to the toothpick and it, like his like and his like gauntness. Like,
yeah, they kind of like take a bunch of different things, right?
Yeah.
So they're taking a bit from Rambo, a bit from that, and just kind of like.
Yeah, and then the other 2 are just cliches.
Yeah, they're really
yeah, it's just Donnie and
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and Raph.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But I like it though. I don't know. What else would you do with them? Like, how else would you get the like?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know the right answer.
But
all I'm saying is it's like they definitely leaned into the cliche.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not necessarily a bad thing if it's like it's shorthand, right? It's easy to tell that story when you don't have to like explain stuff.
It's easy to build those characters. People already understand what they are. As soon as they see them, they're like,
exactly.
I get it.
He's the strong one. He's the smart one. He's the badass. And it makes sense.
You don't have to do a ton of character development because it's very obvious.
Which then ultimately makes them thin as characters, which is
true.
what ultimately they are. They're just like, we don't know anything about these people. They just know that they are clones that have beneficial mutations or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. That's all we know. And I guess they're I think we're led to believe they're trained in the same way that the clone commandos are trained, but we don't know that for sure either. So anyway, so it turns out they didn't need to split up. All they have to do is look for the giant door.
Well, because the signal comes back on.
Yeah,
So
but again,
they're
just the giant door, right? It's the one with the biggest door.
Yeah.
They have to try to open the door. Tech's like working to open it.
Mm-hmm.
There's this weird line of dialogue between Wat Tambor.
There is, yeah, where he comes up and him and Rex are talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's like, I don't know. I do not know what you're talking about. And then he's like, you have my friend. And he's like, you're going to find that your friend isn't quite what you thought he would be. And then he's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So you're right. It is weird. A little bit of a weird dialogue.
Because it's like it also implies that he's dead. Like he's like we might. It's like we
like your friends.
We have your mind. We don't have like we have him, but only his mind.
Only his mind. Yeah.
So it's like
when he's just talking about how predictable they are too. He's just like everything you've done, we've known ahead of
time.
Right,
but they still got him out. I guess unless they wanted him to get him out.
I doubt that, but
ooh,
maybe?
But he's got that like Lobot like headpiece thing.
Oh yeah, what do they call those? I forget.
I don't know if there was names for them, but like the Lobot, they just look like Lobot. Is what it is.
Because there's one of those in Rebels too.
Yeah, that's right.
They find Ezra's like old like family friend,
right? And he's got like that stupid thing on his head.
Yeah,
so
got
maybe
that thing that like kind of keeps him in line, but they're not necessarily like controlling them. It just kind of keeps them in their jobs and doing what they.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see. That would be a twist. I didn't even consider that until just now. That he was like they let him capture. They allowed it to happen.
Right.
So they could like get behind the scenes. We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, or maybe they just thought it didn't matter anymore.
Yeah,
like they had everything they needed, and
it's pretty tragic though. Like so they get the door open. So okay, before we get that.
Mm-hmm.
There is that really awesome action scene you're talking about.
Yes.
Where it starts with like them running in and like the backup coming in, like blowing half of them away with the Force. And then it's just like watching like Jedi, Rex, and the Bad Batch just like wreck shop.
Yeah.
And like like it's like one shot. So it's like following each character. It's like they do different things.
Yeah.
And it's pretty freaking cool.
It is cool. And it's cool getting to see the Bad Batch and everyone fighting all together, because before this we kind of just see one-offs. So you see them like in the previous episode, you saw the one you were talking about where they're giving him what's his name, Crosshair, the coordinates, right?
Yeah,
and then he's throwing the mines and they're shooting them. So you see a little bit of it, but this one you can kind of see them all doing their separate thing, which I kind of liked.
Also, can we talk about how stupid it is that Hunter uses a knife? You don't take
like
what's the one saying? You don't take a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe he's got, I don't know. Maybe he has
it's
a
a bad
idea.
So he does. He uses the same blasters as Rex does.
Right.
Generally, the sidearm.
But he's got throwing knives, because I think he threw a couple of those.
Does he? It looks like just like a big knife, like a vibro blade.
It looked like he had at least two of them, I thought, and he kind of was like throwing them.
I don't know. Either way, it's stupid. Let's just agree that's dumb. You have a gun.
But you can't just give them all guns, because then it's boring. You need a little bit of extra.
Okay.
But I get it. Like when there's a bunch of droids, it's like, like
Anakin's there. He's got a lightsaber. That guy doesn't need a fucking knife.
Yeah. It looked like it was at least a electrified knife.
Yes,
like
it's a vibro blade.
Right.
Those are called. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Keep up. There's a vibro blade. There's a vibro blade in Mandalorian, and it's pretty cool.
Is there?
Yeah. It's when the two Mandos fight each other in like, you know what I'm talking about? When the guy voiced by Jon Favreau fights Mando.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out a knife.
Yeah.
And it's all like, yeah, it's vibroblade. Okay. So they get in there. They find Echo. He's in like the same chamber that Captain America's in when he gets his Captain America juice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, it's kind of like a weird, like not a cryo chamber. I can't remember what they call it in the episode, but
yeah,
it's almost like he's frozen. They're keeping his body alive, and they've got all this.
He's got also robot legs.
I saw that, and that's why I thought maybe he was one that got cut in half by that door. Because I was like, oh, it's kind of like Darth Maul. Like,
it is like Darth Maul, because Darth Maul also has robot legs.
Has robot legs, so I was like, oh, it's kind of.
It
like,
doesn't answer how he. There's a lot of lingering questions there.
I'm sure they're going to go back into. I would assume, or maybe they won't, but.
No. You think I'm going? You think I'm going in a different direction than I'm going. You're going in the right direction. I'm just thinking about how he could go to the bathroom. It doesn't make any. It's not possible. He has robot legs from the waist down.
He probably doesn't have a bladder anymore, or any of that shit anyway.
So how do he process food?
I think you're getting way into it. It's like when people get mad, they're like, there can't be explosions in space.
It's
like,
true, but that's
like,
not
it's
the
made
point.
up.
Yeah, it's turns out it's all fake.
Yeah, it's all made up. So
Right.
I get
Also,
it,
robot
but
legs, very cool.
Yeah. No, it did give me that kind of, the Darth Maul thing and,
So we've got they find Echo, and like it's like I almost cried when he was like,
It's
"You're
so
going,
sad.
you're going home, soldier."
Yeah. And it seems like he's lost time. Like he doesn't know because he still thinks he's in the Citadel.
Right. He's like, we got to get to the shuttle.
Yeah. Like
We
he
gotta get to the
basically
shuttle.
it's heart wrenching. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, you came back for me. And it's like, oh, I wanted to cry. It's just, it was, it's heart wrenching.
I got you, soldier.
So yeah, I'm curious if they're going to be able to like keep him alive.
I think Echo dies next episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I would like to see how the Separatists got him and what happened, and I don't know. If
Yeah,
we'll
I don't.
go into that.
I don't. I can't. Do you think it'd be like a montage of him being tortured? That sounds terrible.
Not necessarily tortured, but like put back together almost. But because I'm assuming in that ship blast that we thought he died in, his legs get blown off. I would assume. But
Here's the synopsis for next week's episode, or this, I guess technically this week's episode. It's called "On the Wings of Kiridax." With Echo recovered, Rex, Bad Batch. It was weird that they don't call him the Bad Batch. It's like, it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
With Rex, Bad Batch, and Anakin Skywalker looking to fight their way out of a Separatist base. So, how recovered could he possibly be? Like, because it looks like they're still, according to this image, it looks like they're still talking to the local aliens.
Yeah.
He can't possibly be like good to fight. And here's my
Oh,
prediction.
definitely not good to fight. No.
Like PTSD, mad PTSD stuff.
Oh, he's probably gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
batshit. He's been by himself for like I don't even know how long, how many years is in between that. But yeah.
I think technically the Clone Wars will only last 3 years, according to the
okay, but
according to canon. But that's bullshit. It should probably be like closer to 15.
Yeah, with everything that happens.
Yeah.
But no, he's been by himself forever and hooked up to machines, and they're basically just been sending you don't know what into his brain, digging old military tactics out of his brain without him being probably conscious of it or having his own.
So,
control
but
over
it's just
it,
weird that they call it with Echo recovered.
Yeah.
Like.
Unless
they recovered.
No, not recovered as in better, as in like
they recovered him. Like
yes.
That's a poor choice of words.
Yeah.
That's a poor choice of words.
Honestly, that's what I thought. I didn't think of him being better.
Oh, really?
No, I thought.
The optimist, even though I apparently hate everything, assumed that they meant recover, like he was okay.
No.
I just want Echo to be okay.
Yeah, I think hopefully he's going to be okay, but
I don't think he's going to be okay.
I do. Do you think they're going to get into at all? Because this is the last season, right? Do we know how many episodes it's supposed to be?
12.
That's not a lot. I was curious if they're going to at all get into like Rex taking the chip out of his head.
So. My understanding is a good question.
Yeah.
Is that after these first couple episodes, they really start diving into a lot of Order 66.
Okay.
And so it's going to be a couple things. It's going to in parallel. There's going to be Ahsoka's mission.
I'm excited for that.
On Mandalore.
Yeah.
Right. I believe it's on Mandalore, and yeah, that's right. It's the battle over Mandalore. That's where the fight with Maul happens. That's why they have those orange helmets.
Mm-hmm. That's
the whole thing. That's why Rex isn't around during the events of Revenge of the Sith. It's very much implied, if not completely revealed, that this parts of the season will take place concurrently with Revenge of the Sith.
Because you need a reason as to why, like Ahsoka and Rex, and some of those key characters aren't in those
exactly.
Movies. Like, kind of
so they're gonna give my understanding is that the final shot, at least their plan was, this is something that like Filoni had talked about years ago. Is like, but we wanted the final shot to like lead right into, like with Anakin going off to rescue the Chancellor, right? And you could turn from that moment, you go right off into the movies, and it's like you're good to go. But that being said, obviously that's not the case because it's taking place concurrently. So we're going to get some really cool looks at Order 66 from alternate perspectives. From like, imagine being Rex when Order 66 happens, which is probably on Mandalore when that happens, and he's like, and he's removed the chip or whatever's happened already, and he has to like fight against his own men. Like that shit is like, I live for that. That's going to be fucking crazy. Yeah. And Ahsoka's going to have seen it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, it's a lot. But where do we see?
I hope she beheads at least one clone.
Just
She likes to.
savage.
She
I mean,
she's
probably.
pretty savage.
Also, but does she have? She would still have her lightsabers, doesn't she?
At this point, she's still so.
Because I know how she gets her like white ones.
Yeah.
Because I read her book, but
Right.
I'm just curious.
Shouldn't she gets rid of her lightsabers after Order 66 because she doesn't want to call attention to herself.
Oh right, no, I remember. Right, I remember. She
like buries them or something like that, or she like. Or she like
oh no
she like fakes her own death.
Yeah, she fakes her own death.
She
or
fakes her own death.
Somebody's death gets faked, whether it's hers or Rex's
Yeah.
or no, there is. I think she does fake her own death and then like leaves her lightsabers like buried in like her grave or whatever.
Yeah,
but
that makes yeah that makes sense.
Yeah,
that
so I am curious to see that. But where do we see? Like obviously we're probably going to see more Darth Maul, like you said. I'm curious, where does that end off with him? Because he's fighting Dooku, is he not? And then Dooku captures him, right? Does he get away?
I don't remember where we left Maul.
Yeah.
I know that. So he's probably makes another play for Mandalore, right? Which he tried before, which he was in charge of before.
Because eventually he is in charge of one of those crime syndicates.
Yeah, so I guess at the end of this, he'll be run away like he always does.
Yeah.
And he'll do whatever he has to do, and then he'll pop up again. Next time we see him, will be in.
Well, technically, the next time. Well, not next time. Never mind. Yeah, I guess it's
the next time we see him is technically during Solo. After the season, the next time would be Solo. After that would be Rebels.
Yeah, because we see him again, and he pops up again in Rebels. But
spoilers: he dies in Rebels.
That is a big spoiler.
Yeah, well, if you're listening to this, you should know that.
I mean, yeah,
it's pretty cool, and you should watch it.
It's a great arc there. I like it.
Yeah, that show also has a bad first season. Although there's
it's all right.
Although
I don't know.
There is that first season episode where they go to the same base. Mm-hmm. Although it's not clear if it's the same actual base or they just use the same like art assets, because it's like in an asteroid belt. So either this planet gets destroyed and that base survives as an asteroid,
right?
or it's just a different base on an asteroid.
Yeah.
It's not clear.
Could be.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it. That's all I got. Any final thoughts on this episode as a whole?
I don't know, not necessarily. I'm just excited to see more. I'd like to just see more with the Bad Batch and see it get a little bit more filled in, and then obviously see more with Echo and find out how all of this came to be. And
right, you want some like
more backstory.
Yeah.
I want more backstory on everything always.
But like, do we need the Echo backstory? Like, it's just him tortured,
I guess.
right?
I guess not, but I'm just curious.
I wouldn't mind it, like, because I do like everything to do with clones, but I don't know if we necessarily need it.
No, not necessarily. We don't need it. That's true. I guess we can just assume. It's pretty easy to assume what happened. They found him. They,
like, it's just gonna be brutal. Like, do you want to see Echo tortured? Like, because it sounds like that's what you're asking for.
Why does he need to be tortured?
Because what do you think he's just not? You think he got his legs? Okay, so he either lost his legs in the explosion.
Well, they're not just gonna cut his legs off and give him new ones. That's stupid.
That is stupid. You're right.
Like, what's the point in that?
What's the point of giving him legs at all?
I don't know. I guess there's not much, so we can get away one day. But
so we can.
I guess that's fair. We can basically fill that in on ourselves. But like I said, I want to see more with Rex and the clones and all about those like inhibitor chips that they have. But
honestly, all I care about is Order 66. It's like it's the coolest shit.
And Ahsoka. I want to see more with Ahsoka because the last time we see her, she's left.
We're gonna see her have to deal with it. It's gonna be so cool.
Well, last time we see her, she's left the Jedi Order though.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see more with her with that story because I just want to know where.
So
she
you're
goes
saying
from there.
You're a fan of Ahsoka?
Huge fan. She's my favorite. I've told you this.
You dressed up as her one time.
I did. Yeah. No, she's my favorite.
Didn't you win the Halloween costume?
I did.
Award that
year? It was
year?
at a social, but yes.
Yeah. Most people don't know what wedding socials are.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of costumes at that party. That was a huge social.
Yeah. There's a lot there.
There must have been at least 100, maybe 150 people
probably
at that fucking party.
But I mean, I was
the only person without a costume.
That doesn't surprise me.
I was at a concert earlier, and then I arrived there, and I wasn't gonna show up to the concert in a costume. Like, no, come on. It was
like I told you. I'm pretty sure I told you this at the social, I'm like, you could have put a Superman shirt under your whatever fancy clothes and been Clark
My
Kent.
fancy clothes.
Easy.
Do you want to just pull my shirt apart like
Yeah.
this, and then it's like
Easy costume.
okay, I guess that actually
It's
makes
the
sense.
easiest dude costume for like guys who are like, I still want to look hot, but then like have a costume. So
Is that what we sound like?
Yeah.
Oh. Huh. It's weird. 'Cause I've listened to my own voice
it's like
on
the
this thing a
guy
lot of
version
time.
of like a slutty costume. It's just being Clark
just
Kent.
a suit with a
take
suit
your
with a
shirt
shirt underneath.
Yeah.
That's boring.
Yeah.
Okay. With that all said, thank you for joining me
welcome.
today.
I'm less nervous now.
Would you like to come do another one?
Now that I've done one, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Right. It's
I
not
thought
too
there were going to be more like mean comments and like
Yeah, no, it turns out no one watches live. So we're
Perfect.
we're streaming
no, that
this
makes me
we're streaming
so
this
happy.
live, but we don't have to look at that. Look at all those zeros right
Great.
there.
Love it.
So you don't have to worry.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean that people weren't watching on Periscope. We can find that out later.
Oh, okay.
But you're welcome back anytime.
Okay.
Only for Star Wars stuff though.
What else would I come back for?
Harry Potter, I guess.
You don't do Harry Potter content.
Yeah, we don't do Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But
Which
we
is fine.
could.
You could, yeah.
We could.
But you probably won't. So we didn't fight too much, so that's always good.
Screw you.
Yeah. Yeah. Start off.
So yeah, you're welcome back anytime. I thought this was pretty good.
So you don't have to do it alone. I'll learn to talk into the mic better.
Yeah, please.
Sorry. Never podcasted before.
Well, welcome to the family.
Yeah. Thanks.
You can follow us on Twitter at TowerBabbleCast, Facebook.com/TowerBabbleCast. Head over to our website, TowerBabble.ca, where you can find everything we do. If you want to help support the show, please, Patreon.com/TowerBabbleCast. For as little as $5 a month, you can get some bonus content for your trouble. So we would appreciate that. We will be back next week with another small screen Star Wars. Hold on. Wait.